I want me some Gloryhole.
Oh, yeah! Hello, and welcome to the Football Gloryhole podcast. Whether you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spreaker, SoundCloud, YouTube, or on iHeartRadio, we thank each and every Gloryhole seeker for tuning in this week. I'm your host, Bo Cephas, and I'm joined as always here on the sports patio by my good buddy Longhorn. Longhorn, what's up, buddy?
All right. Bo Cephas, I'm going to continue with the movie quote reference theme here. We had Oakland plus 1.5 on Thursday and got the win. If we win on Saturday, that's 2 in a row. And if we win on Sunday, that's called a winning streak. It has happened before. Now, if you can name that movie, message us on social media, and we might slip you a free week of premium picks. I don't know. We like to help out our loyal listeners. However, if you are movie retarded, go to our website, thefootballgloryhole.com, and hit us up for all those premium picks so that you can bet football the right way, the winning way, the football glory hole way. Y'all know the drill by now. We will make you laugh. We will make you cringe.
Holy Santa Claus shit.
But most of all, baby, we will make you a shit ton of money.
Woo! 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 Ow! Love that money.
People, you cannot beat our prices, and you will not find a more consistent winner in the market. And don't forget to check out our new show on YouTube called The Degenerate with world-famous R.J. Choppy from 105.3 The Fan.
Murray, and against Zana, left side, swings this one, Holloway for 3, and I set fire to the rain. Watched it pour as I touch your face.
Now, because I love you and it is our podcast and we do whatever the fuck we want, it's college free pick time, baby. All right, our college free pick of the week on the podcast. Let's go to the marquee 11 a.m. kickoff game. Minnesota hosting Penn State. We like the under 48.5 here, and we send it out to our clients on Thursday, I believe. We all know how these early Big Ten kickoff battles go. Both Stevens, I can't tell you how many times in my life that I've woken up at, I don't know, like 1 or 2 in the afternoon to kind of glance at the TV after a rough Friday night of booze and whores, only to see that the score of one of these shitty Big Ten games is like, I don't know, 12-9 or 13-8 or some stupid score in the third quarter. So we look for this to be much of the same. Two good teams looking to run the ball, run the clock, and 2 very highly ranked defenses. Our college free pick of the week on the podcast is Minnesota Penn State under 48.5. Now, with all that business out of the way, welcome to the world's #1 football capping podcast. Bo Cephas, as always, here on the sports patio, we got the TVs glowing. We got the beer heavily flowing, and right now it's everybody's favorite part of the show. My friend, tell the people all about your horrible, always disgusting cold beer choice of the week.
Well, thank you very much, sir. Tonight I am drinking a Whiskers on Kittens.
Gross.
By D9 Brewery in Cornelius, North Carolina.
Okay.
I gave this beer 3 out of 5 stars. It's a really good blonde beer. And speaking, my good buddy, of blondes and cats.
Uh-oh.
So I was at a local store today, and I was checking out some items. You know, as you do, you go to the store to get some consumable items.
Mm-hmm.
And I was behind a young lady in line, and she had but 2 items in front of me. One would be a bottle of wine. The other would be a bottle of Miralax.
Mm-mm.
And she was speaking to the checker there, and she was saying, "Oh, my baby's been so sick recently." And immediately, of course, my mind goes to, well, I look at her finger, no ring, so I'm thinking single mother, baby, constipated, mama needs some wine. I got you. Like, I got it, all right?
Got it.
But then she proclaims to everyone within earshot of her saying, yeah, my cat has been really constipated lately, and I think that this will help her get over her constipation.
Okay.
And immediately, my focus goes from her lack of ring and her item selection to her appearance, which, of course, because I'm shallow as fuck, but she was very plain, right? Blonde, very neutral face. I wouldn't call it pretty, wouldn't call it ugly. Very neutral build, nothing, really redeeming about her. And I'm thinking the fact she's buying a bottle of wine and a bottle of Miralax to feed her cat. And she was, a young lady. I'm not, obviously old enough to buy alcohol. I would guess about 27, 28. And my immediate thought was, why does she exist? Like, what is her purpose? And I really couldn't come up with a good reason for her to be here and be breathing the air that we all breathe. And I'm not saying that she doesn't deserve to exist. I'm just saying I don't understand. I'm a man of the Lord, as you know. And I don't understand. I don't understand why he made her. Like, what? Like, we could have done without her.
No.
Like, could you not have done something better or something different? Like, what? Why is she here? Was really my question.
Yeah. I'm wondering if she was looking over her shoulder and asking the same question. What were you holding in your hand is what I want to know.
Well, I was holding that fantastic beer I just talked about, and you don't need to know the rest of my items because my shopping list is none of your goddamn business, sir.
Yeah, I imagine she glanced over and saw, some Vaseline and some beer, and I was like, why is this guy? This is a weirdo. I better get out of the store and give my cat some of this fucking X-Lax and get the fuck out of here.
Well, you know what? At least I don't drug my goddamn pets.
Yeah.
But anyway, boys and girls, we're into the podcast, and right now we got to get into our sponsor, and it is, as always, BetAnySports.eu. I said BetAnySports.eu. It is the only place to go for online gambling. Just like the name suggests, bet all sports. If there was a handicap on how much your cat pooped, god damn it, they would have it. They've got poker, full casino games. They advertise reduced juice, minus 105 in many cases, same-day payouts. They welcome Bitcoin. They advertise the widest selections of props, parlays, and teasers. People, go right now to BetAnySports.eu. Put in code word Gloryhole. You get a 35% sign-up bonus. What does that mean? You deposit $1,000, you get back $1,350. Use the picks we give you right here on the podcast and from our premium picks to win their money. You take their money, take their free money, you win even more money on top of that. It's win-win both ways, baby. BetAnySports.eu, code word Gloryhole. One more time, BetAnySports.eu, code word Gloryhole.
I don't think cat shit is a sport, but that's fine.
And now it's time for the good.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Well, that's just fucking great. That's just fucking great.
The bad.
Is this bad? Is this bad?
Well, that's fucking not good.
And the are you fucking kidding me?
Are you fucking kidding me?
Are you fucking kidding me?
God damn it, are you fucking with me?
All right, boys and girls, and as always, we start off with the good, and the good this week is us starting off the week 1-0 last night in Oakland, and Longhorn, you and I have got to come clean right fucking now, as we always do to the people. We never lie. We always tell us the truth. You and I were dead ass wrong about the Oakland Raiders, were we not?
Yeah, I've actually got it written up in the breakdown of one of these games coming up. I was 100% wrong on a few teams, and Oakland is definitely one of the ones that I was wrong. Looking back, we always like to analyze what did we miss and how can we make sure we don't make that mistake going forward. And I I think I'll take full responsibility for this miss because I am the offensive line guru.
I mean, you should.
Yeah, well, I mean, I do. I'm the offensive line guru, and I should have seen that all these maneuvers, free agents, and drafting that they had done on the offensive line would pay off because that's exactly how I evaluate teams. So the Colton Miller experiment is probably what jaded me and threw me off because I never would have expected he'd be a legit player in the NFL. Turns out he is. So, yeah, we were wrong. Dead wrong.
All right, moving on to the bad. And the bad last week was the Notre Dame loss. First of all, people, I fucking hate, full disclosure, I fucking hate Notre Dame football. I fucking hate them. Like, with a passion, I hate them. Now, because we're professionals, we don't allow our likes and dislikes of teams to prevent or, propel us to vote or to bet on teams or handicap teams. We simply go by the data and by, what kind of the trend lines are going to. However, this is why I hate Notre Dame football. So in this game, Notre Dame was up by 7. They were going up by 14. They were on the 1-yard line. It was, I think, early second quarter. So the way kind of college football works is when you bet a heavy favorite, which we did in Notre Dame. I think they were minus 17.5, right about there. When they go up by 2 scores, it generally, there's a breakover point right around the 14 to 16 point line where it just kind of goes the other way. So it's been a hard-fought game to the end, halfway through the second quarter. Notre Dame's going to go up by 14. They're on the 1-yard line. It's going to break our way. Notre Dame's going to cover. They're just going to run them down. The other team loses inspiration. Yada, yada, yada. The running back gets the ball and the 1, goes in for the touchdown, gets hit on the ball with a helmet from the other team. The ball literally flies up in the fucking air, lands right into the other team's lap, runs it back for a 99-yard defensive touchdown. Tie ball game on. Notre Dame does not cover. Oh my God, I fucking hate those stupid Irish bastards.
I hope your parents know that you're disparaging the Catholic school like this. Because if they're not listening, then I will absolutely send them a PDF of this.
Yeah, for sure. But you know what? We're Czech. We're not Irish, so fuck those Irish shitheads. All right, and now we move on to the Are You Fucking Kidding Me of the week. And that, this week, boys and girls, was the Tampa Bay push for us. And yes, we're sorry to say for a lot of our clients, it was a loss. We got Tampa Bay at +6. I know a lot of our clients got them at +5 or probably worse. So to recap this game, Tampa Bay was up by multiple scores for most of the game. And then even with the Winston eventual fuck-up turnover, they still had the cover. And they go down, they take the lead, right? They take the lead by 2. And then, they take the lead by 1. They could have went for 2. They didn't. They opted to go in for the extra point. He missed. Oh, sorry. They could have went by 4. He misses the extra point. So now they're only up by 2. So now we're back in a good situation. There's 45 seconds left or so. Seattle, Russell Wilson, you know what he's going to do. He's going to lead them down. They're going to get the field goal. You already know how this is going to play out. We told you, both of us, Longhorn and myself, both told you Seattle was probably going to win this game, but they've been such a coin flip team all year. It's going to be barely. So what do? They drive down. They put themselves in position. 40-yard field goal for the win. What happens? He fucking misses.
Oops.
And we go to overtime. Now, you're thinking to yourself, okay, we go to overtime. We're +6, +5. What are our odds here? Well, Longhorn, just to let you know, when a team of a dog of more than 3 goes to overtime in the NFL, historically, they are 94% covered. So when we go to overtime, I'm texting you, you're texting me, we're still feeling good. We're like, all right, fuck it. We got it. It's fine, right?
Got the win.
Yep. Seattle goes all the way down. No resistance from Tampa Bay. Scores the touchdown. And of course, they don't have to kick the extra point. So we do get the push on our end and in the super contest. Our clients get the loss. I mean, fuck me. How many fucking things have to go exactly wrong for us to fucking lose this game.
Yeah, and sorry, when you were going over some of all that list of bullshit, I didn't catch did you talk about why they didn't just go for 2 on the road?
I just kind of skimmed over it just because they're a bunch of pussies, and I just skimmed over it.
That is by the book. The team on the road that isn't as good as the home team, you absolutely go for 2. Like it was a ridiculous choice to not go for 2, and then I heard you talk about the list of bullshit that happened after that. That's the way football betting goes. Sometimes you got the right pick, and football happens.
As Ron Washington used to say, that's the way baseball go.
Yep.
All right, boys and girls, now it's time you've all been waiting for. It's time for all those wins coming in the air tonight, baby! And we're going to start this week Longhorn in Tennessee, where Kansas City comes calling, and they are now 6-point road favorites.
All right, and of course in this game you've got Mahomes back, and with the line at -6, that would suggest that. And earlier in the week, I will say that this line was at -3, I believe. So if you were feeling predictive and you wanted to put a bet in on Kansas City at -3, then you're certainly feeling good about that right now. Football Outsiders has this KC defense ranked 11th overall. And if you take a deeper dive into the numbers, you'll find that since Jones on the defensive line has come back and the new defensive scheme has settled in, the defense has been playing far over expectations from what we thought they were coming into the year, and certainly what they looked like at the beginning of the year. Now, on a macro level, when I think of this game, with all the Kansas City weapons back on deck, and with, obviously Mahomes is a key part of that, and a Tennessee team that, if you think about, like in week 3 or 4, if these two teams have played when Kansas City was just on fire and blowing people out, if you take this line and move it back to that, or take this game, move it back to week 3 or 4, I would guess this line would be KC -8, maybe 8.5, maybe even 9, depending on how good they looked the week before. So to me, this is a huge line value for Kansas City. Even though they're on the road, I would still lean Kansas City. This is honestly one of my weaker plays on the board. I don't love this game. What do you got over there?
So I just want to ask you, so you said Kansas City was -3, now they're -6, so 3 points from Mahomes being in. So do you think that Vegas is kind of already figuring him playing, or what are you saying?
Yeah, that's exactly. I mean, we saw this earlier in the year. I can't remember what. It may have been Mahomes also, but earlier in the year there was a quarterback that they kind of hedged their bet. So, obviously if Mahomes was truly out, that line would be shorter than that. But they're kind of hedging their bet because all indicators pointed that he was going to play. And then when he does finally get announced fully as a go, it goes up to 6. So, but again, you're under a touchdown with all hands on deck for a Kansas City team with their defense actually playing at the level that none of us expected over the last 3 or 4 weeks. I think all the value is on Kansas City here personally.
So that's the next question. Why do you think that they're under a touchdown? Because to your point, the -8 thing, is that in play? Maybe, but there's a reason why they're not like an overwhelming favorite, and it's kind of a shitty number. And I think Tennessee's 5-2 in their last 7 as a home dog. And if you look at the numbers and the power ratings, I mean, Kansas City, they're about 4 points better than Tennessee. So now they're laying 6 on the road. So that's 2 plus 3. It's 5. I mean, I don't know, man. Not in my power rankings. They're not 4 points better, but
okay. I mean,
by the numbers they are though.
That's fine. That's fine. But I've got them as
and now that's what
points.
just full disclosure. That's with Matt Moore playing, so it's everything considered. So it's not Mahomes, all year, right?
Got you.
So by the numbers, they're 4 points better. But if you look at their performance, with Matt Moore, how much better would they be with Mahomes? Well, obviously Mahomes is the better player. There's no doubting that. But how much does he really translate into better performance against the spread? Some people say he's 7-8 points, and that's great. But you got 3, so you said it was kind of already baked in, right? But at the same time, they're going on the road to a team that does play decent defense in Tennessee. Their defense has gotten better for sure, but that's the reason why they've actually climbed up the power rankings in the numbers. Because they didn't, as good as they were, they really didn't start out that well in the power rankings because of the numbers, because their defense was so bad. And then the numbers,
it was bad early.
Yeah, by the numbers, it's all weighted equally. So just because your offense is good doesn't mean that you rank well versus the numbers, because if your defense is poor, it drags you down.
Everything's coming together now, though. But now the defense is playing well, and you've got all the offensive weapons back.
No,
Hill's
true.
back, Mahomes back. I think, to me, everything lines up to we're actually going to get, because how long was Hill out at the beginning of the year?
In the first 2 weeks, right?
Yeah, so I feel like we haven't really seen the best of Kansas City yet, and this. It might be starting to be the time.
But here's my question to you, though. Here's my question. So so all things considered, they're 4 points better, right? With Matt Moore, everything, like just by the numbers. And again, it's not no subjectiveness to this at all. It's all strictly numbers. Is Mahomes 100%? Because if he is, then I agree with you on Kansas City. But if he's not, I seriously doubt he's 100%. His kneecap was laying to the side of his fucking leg.
Yeah, but I don't see them putting him like 100% to do what? Like just to be able to move around in the pocket and do what he does?
No,
I think so.
I'll say so let's take him back. Let's just say he comes back in at the health that he was when he went out. Is that fair? Like, because he was lame, right? We both agree with that. We won money against Kansas City. I bet you
he's actually healthier, because that high ankle sprain can linger like a son of a bitch. Yeah, I swear to God, that high ankle.
So you think he's healthier?
Yes.
He was already hurt, and then he blew his knee out, and you think he's healthy?
He didn't blow it. He didn't blow his knee out. The high ankle sprain lingers. The displacement of a kneecap. I mean, that's either you're good or you're not. It's not a lingering type thing. So yeah, I think he's gonna actually be healthier this week.
Okay, no, I disagree with that. I disagree with that. So I think he comes back in maybe the level he left at, which is still awesome. Obviously, he's Patrick Mahomes, but I don't think there's any way he's healthier than when he left at. And we won money again against them. I think 2 weeks in a row we faded them because of, and it was your handicap.
Yeah.
He wasn't 100%, and without 100%, he's not the same dude because, and I know this is sacrilegious or whatever to say, he's not a great fundamental quarterback. Like, he has a magic arm, and he's Brett Favre, and I get all that. But fundamentally, 3, 5, 7-step drops, reading a defense, that's not that dude. He's not like he's
Are you trying
magic.
to like talk me into a show bet or something?
No, I'm just saying, like, I fundamentally disagree with you. You think that he's going to come back healthier than he left at when he wasn't even healthy to begin with.
His ankle will be 100% healthy. So now it's just a matter of, okay, is his knee healthy? And I don't think they'd put him out there if he wasn't. It's Tennessee. They can beat them with Matt Moore. They're not going to put him out there if they don't think he's healthy. And they got a bye on the horizon. If he wasn't healthy, they would just sit him, wait for the bye, and just completely get it healthy. So, yeah, I think he's completely healthy.
Okay, we'll find out. We'll find out!
Yep.
All right, Buffalo goes to Cleveland and to your Cleveland Browns. Excuse me, sir. And they are 3-point road dogs.
Definitely not my Browns, and I can't believe we spent freaking 5 minutes on a game.
Always been your Cleveland Browns. Always.
No, they're not. They're not. But I can't believe we spent 5 minutes on a game that I don't even like, because on this game, Buffalo-Cleveland, this I've got a bunch of stuff on. correct me if I'm wrong. This is one of the numbers heavy plays, and we already have sent it out. Is that correct?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So this is okay. And just to tell people, you and I handicap different. This time of year, we rely heavily on the numbers and the numbers rule, and that's fine. But the way I handicap is just the way I handicap, and I'm going to spit it out the way it spits out, and I'm not going to lie to myself or try to make anything fit into whatever the numbers put out. So this is going to be my handicap. It might go against what the numbers say, but that's fine. At the end of the day, you make the call on what we put in Super Contest, so it is what it is. You can disagree with this all you want, and believe me, I know you can. I know you can show bet me on this if you want, and I'm fully aware of that. But here it goes. We all know that Buffalo is 3-0 on the road, and that Cleveland is 0-3 at home, and I think that's what everybody's looking at. And we all know that the Baker Mayfield clown show is it is what it is. These are all in the headlines. Everybody knows that. And as bad as his play has been, Baker, it might actually be worse than we think. He has the lowest passer rating when not facing pressure in the league, and a 6-10 touchdown to interception ratio in that scenario without getting pressure. But here's the deal, and like I said, I'm fully aware that you can hit the button and show bet me on this, but I am actually going to lean to Cleveland here, and here's why. Buffalo is the 30th in defensive rush efficiency, and they even signed a veteran journeyman defensive tackle this week to help out that situation. Harrison Phillips is out, and like I said last week, the other two, Star Lotulelei and Ed Oliver, both first-round defensive tackles, have been no-shows all year. They're a sieve up the middle, and they know it. So the way I see last season, when Kitchens took over the offense halfway through, they spent the majority of their offensive set in 12 personnel. That's one back, two tight ends. And this year, with Kitchens is now the head coach, so he had to hire an offensive coordinator. And this new offensive coordinator, he has spent majority of this year in 3 wide. And the talk around Cleveland this week is that Kitchens, the seat's getting hot, and the talk around town is that he is going to kind of take back over the view of the offense, the kind of scheme of the offense. And with Kareem Hunt coming back this week, I look for the focus to be heavily where it should be. Should have been the whole time, running the ball, taking the pressure off Baker, going more to that 12 personnel, and getting back to what they do the best. Now, last week against Denver, Cleveland did have 7 trips inside the 30-yard line, and yet they only scored 19 points. And we always say on this show that the way you score in the red zone is being able to run the ball, and of course having an elite quarterback, that helps too. But being able to run the ball inside the red zone is how you turn those trips inside the red zone into 7, not 3. I got a couple game nuggets, and I'm going to throw it to you and let you decide what you want to do with this. The DVOA strength of schedule for Cleveland is 4th hardest in the NFL, and Buffalo's is 31st easiest. Second game nugget is in games that both Greedy Williams, these are both cornerbacks for Cleveland, both Greedy Williams and Denzel Ward have played. Opponents only have a 35% success rate in the air. The floor is yours. Show bet me if you dare.
So, has Cleveland not been running the ball well all year?
They have, but not very often.
Okay. So
their success rate is good, but the volume isn't there.
But they've been running the ball well, right?
On a yards per attempt, yes.
Yeah. So, first of all, full disclosure, I just double checked. We don't have this one in the Super Contest. We did send it out to the clients. It's not one of the 5 that made it in the Super Contest.
Oh, okay.
So, just full disclosure on that. But, so, couple of trends here. Cleveland is 15-36 after a straight-up loss against the spread. 1-4 in the last 5 as a favorite. They can't handle success just like Baker can't. 9-23 in the last 32 at home, and 5-21-1 versus a winning team, which Buffalo is. Buffalo's 4-0 in the last 4 games on the road, and 4-1 against the spread in the last 5 as a dog. Now, all that's good and great, but I did listen intently to your handicap, and I did like it. And I agree with you on the Ward and Greedy Williams, which I think one of us liked Greedy Williams. I think one of us kind of selected him to one of our kind of fantasy teams that we do.
Both liked him. Both liked him.
Yeah, so, but he plays for one of us. But anyway, but does Buffalo really have success in the air? Like, is that how they win games? Are they 6-2?
They are 6-2, and they do not have success in the air.
Right. So they don't win in the air anyway because their quarterback can't throw because he's a stupid dumb face from Wyoming. But what he does do is run around and make plays and do all kinds of shit like that. And they run the ball well, and they try to play good defense. But I agree with you on the fact that they don't play as good a run defense as everybody thinks they do. However, again, Cleveland has been running the ball all year. Where they fell short in is the fact that Baker Mayfield, and again, full disclosure, you know I hate him, and I know you like him, but I never thought he would be this bad. Like, honestly, at this point, he is like bordering on like Tebow territory this year. Like, it's that bad. What does he complete? Like 56% of his passes. Like, I mean, it's bad. Like, I'm being a little bit hyperbolic right here, but it's way worse than I ever expected him to be.
Gotcha.
And now all this talk about they got to force feed OBJ the ball and all this other shit. Like, I don't know, dude. The numbers are with me. I'm not gonna show bet you on it because I didn't feel strong enough to put it in the contest, so I'm not gonna show bet you on it. But the numbers do agree with Buffalo.
Yeah, and
I think Cleveland could win for sure, but man, I mean,
I'm with you. I don't want you to show bet me. I don't feel like I said, I don't feel that great about it. But the way I handicap, everything pointed that way to me. I know I'm in the minority there because it seems like everybody in the world is picking Buffalo in this game.
Yeah, but you know what? You're on the right side of that because everybody wants to dogpile Cleveland. Like, everybody wants to dogpile Cleveland.
Yeah, it seems square because everybody's like, oh, a 6-2 team that's getting 3 points against a 2-6 or whatever they are. Like, it just feels square. Whatever they are. So like, I'm not saying that like I feel great about it, but like I have to lean to Cleveland the way that I do.
So here's the one thing that should push anybody away from betting with you if they want to bet with you. By the numbers, Cleveland is a 2-point dog to any team, not any team, but anyway, at a neutral field, they're a 2-point to the disadvantage, and Buffalo's 1.5 point. That's 3.5 points better. They're getting 3 points, so that should mean that Buffalo should be about a 0.5 point favorite in Cleveland. They're getting 3. That's 3.5 point delta. I mean, there's no value on Cleveland to me at all. Now, they're better than they've played. Their talent is better than they've played. So that, and just like the Baltimore game where they kicked the shit out of Baltimore, right? And we just saw Baltimore go to New England, or not go to New England. They just beat New England in Baltimore. Well, that Cleveland team beat the brakes off Baltimore. So the talent is there. So I fully get you on that, and that's why I'm not going to show bet you. The numbers do agree. Buffalo, we've already put out Buffalo, so hopefully you're wrong, and hopefully for our clients, you're wrong.
Me too. I hope I'm wrong.
All right, moving on. Arizona goes to Tampa Bay, and they are 4.5 point road dogs.
Okay, this is a game I do like. Cannot wait to watch this game. Should be a high-scoring, fun game to watch. I really don't understand the line on this one. I think that anything over 3 points to Arizona is the only way to go for me. Arizona, they have we talk about where we got to eat crow a little bit, and we kind of expected the little circus midget to have a good first year, so we're not eating crow yet. But Arizona have been a pleasant surprise this season, and they really just never seem to be out of a cover. And for the most part, they really not ever out of a game, especially lately. Tampa Bay is 0-3 at home and laying just way too big of a number here than I think it should be. I think last week may have been the nail in the season for Tampa Bay. You talked about it in the "Are you fucking kidding me?" that the way they lost that game. I just think sometimes with losses like that, it can just be the crusher for a team. Tampa Bay has had a brutal travel schedule over the last 6 weeks, Arizona coming off 10 days rest. For me, this is a lean to Arizona all the way.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Tampa Bay is 1-9 in the last 10 as a favorite, between 3.5 to 10 points. In Arizona, 16-6 on the road against the spread versus a losing team in their last 22. And say what you want to about the circus midget. I hate him. You hate him. It's all good. But the kid doesn't turn the ball over. And when you don't turn the ball over versus a guy like Jameis Winston, who perpetually turns the fucking ball over, you always have a chance to cover that spread.
Yep.
All right, moving on. Those New York Giants go to those New York Jets. And they're 3-point kind of road favorites, I guess.
Yeah, it's kind of. Well, hello, Corner TV game. This is absolutely the Corner TV game of the week. I refuse to waste my time or yours on this game. Just a couple quick things, and I'll throw it to you. Danny Dimes has 16 turnovers in 8 games. I will lean to the Jets at on the road, kind of at home, but yes, on the road. I don't know what it is. If you can get it at 3 points, take it. I don't know any other way to handicap this.
So this game is one of our premium picks, and it is in the Super Contest, and it is the New York Jets, and it is one of those hold your nose and fucking flush it out games. Bottom line is the Giants are about 2 points better than the Jets, and they're getting 3. You got a 1-point delta, and to your point, the Danny Dimes Roadshow. This dude is he's a Jameis Winston starter kit. He's a turnover machine. And, oh, my God. Just hold your nose. Take the Jets plus 3. Let's go, baby. All right, moving on. Atlanta goes to New Orleans, and they're 13.5-point road dogs.
Okay, this is another game where I am actually going against the numbers. My power rankings actually have this game at a 17.5-point spread. And what'd you say it's at right now?
13.5.
Yeah, so this should be a forced play for me on New Orleans. Atlanta's coming off the bye, and we always say that teams with good coaches are the ones who benefit from bye weeks. I'm pretty sure Dan Quinn can't even believe he still has a job at this point. He probably showed up after the bye and was like, "Oh, look, the keypad or the key thing still works. I guess I'm still employed." So I give no uptick in this handicap for them coming off a bye at all. Motivation is the key for me. You've got a great New Orleans team coming off a bye with a great coach. So obviously that falls in the category of great coaches coming off a bye. They are looking to hit the last part of this season in stride. They got a lot to play for. They're one of the best teams in the NFC. Now Atlanta, what motivation do they have to get back to work? Like transverse these two teams. You got one team coming off a bye that has everything to play for going into the last part of the season. You got the other team that they're buried. They're done. They got a dead man walking coach. What is the motivation to go back to work? Football is very hard. It takes a lot out of you to and it's a painful sport. And when you suck and the world knows you suck, you don't have to squint very hard to see that some quit will set in pretty quickly on this one. If New Orleans comes out and just bang bang puts a couple of scores on the board, it's going to get real ugly real quick. I lean New Orleans.
Yeah, so the numbers obviously love Atlanta. Of course, they're going to because it's 13.5 points, and Atlanta's way too good at offense to give 13.5 points to. No matter what the motivation or whatever else, Matt Ryan is back, and if you think they can't backdoor that, you're fucking crazy. They're 5-2 against the spread after a bye. They're 4-1 on the road as a dog of 10.5 or more. Atlanta gonna cover.
All
right. Moving on. Baltimore goes to Cincinnati, and Baltimore's 10-point, some places 10.5-point road favorites.
Yeah, I see it 10.5 right here. To me, Cincy, you've got Dalton out, Finley in. This is a pretty simple handicap for me, honestly. The value on this line is too much to pass up. Situationally, it's the perfect letdown game for Baltimore. They're coming off the biggest win of their season versus New England last week, and they face Houston in next week. So this is the perfect little sandwich spot against a team they know they're better than. They can just kind of show up, go through the motions, get the easy win, probably by 1 score or so, and just move on to Houston next week. Now that game next week is a huge one because it is the battle for what could be a first-round bye in the AFC. So I think all their focus this week has been on Houston next week. One quick little game nugget, then I'll throw it to you. Teams who beat the previous year's Super Bowl champion are 26-41 ATS the next week. So I've got nothing but a lean to Cincy here.
That's a great trend. And like you said, they are absolutely better than Cincinnati. In fact, Cincinnati is now taking over the second to last in my power rankings. They've actually beat out the Jets for that. But that's still not enough to warrant this 10-point spread. It is Cincy. 9-4 in the last 13 versus the winning team. 9-4 in the last 13 is a dog 10.5 or more. 6-2 in the last 8 in conference. And just to go along with your, what was the trend? Give it to us again about the Super Bowl winners.
It is, I just deleted it, but off memory, I think it was 26-41 ATS after coming off beating the previous year's Super Bowl champion.
So, a winless team, to couple that, a winless team.
Oh, another good point. Go ahead.
Off of a bye, which Cincy is both of those. Haven't won a game off a bye.
Yep.
27-9 all time against the spread. Again, Baltimore, huge letdown coming here. 16-33-2 in the last 51 is a favorite overall. 1-5 is the last favorite, 10.5 or more. You can get it at 10.5 right now. 0-7, by the way, is Baltimore in their last 7 division games. So when you have that kind of trend against teams that know you, and Longhorn, remind me, didn't we have Cincinnati versus Baltimore in Baltimore on that cover? Didn't we win that?
We did. They were catching 13, I believe, that day.
So they were catching 13 that day in Baltimore, and now they're again.
It's the same value because now they're catching 10.
Value.
So with the home and away.
So we already won it once. Why couldn't we win it again? Yeah, let's go, Cincy.
And just real quick, you reminded me of something. Like you talked about the motivation of a winless team coming off of a bye. Like that's huge right there in itself. But then you have the uptick of a new quarterback coming off a bye and a winless team. And we've seen a trend all year long with these new quarterbacks, these backup quarterbacks coming in. They fared well this year for some reason. I'm not sure exactly why. Maybe it's just a trend. Well, there's better backups this year. I don't know, but they've done well. The backups have.
I have a theory on that, and we're gonna get into this in the off season, just a preview. So I'm building a lot of data right now of how bad the quarterback play actually is in the NFL, and how bad these quarterbacks that are coming in the NFL are now versus what we've seen the quality in the past. And I promise you, by the time I build all this up and go into the offseason, you're going to understand why these backups and corner are coming in and having success, because these stars that are starting right now are not even close to the quality of what we've been used to seeing in the NFL in the past. It's why people are talking about Lamar Jackson as MVP in the NFL. Like, get the fuck out of my face. But anyway, we'll get into that into the offseason. Moving on. Carolina goes to Green Bay. Green Bay is minus now 5.5 at home.
Yes, sir. Now, this is my favorite pick of the week. I don't even know what the numbers say. I don't care. It's not how I handicap. Green Bay is dead last in defensive rush efficiency. They've allowed the 5th most receptions to running backs this season, both of which set up very nicely for what Carolina likes to do on offense. Green Bay only has 1 sack all season when opponents use play action over the last month and a half, and they are 31st in defensive YPP, 23rd in sack percentages, and 24th in defensive points per game. This defense has fallen apart over the last 6 weeks. Now, on the other side of the ball, Carolina is 3rd in defensive pass efficiency, 9th in pass rush pressures. The weather will be a factor in this game, but I have to ask you, honestly, this weather, who's it going to favor more? In my opinion, it's the Panthers. The way they play football and the way this team is built, the weather's going to help the Panthers, not Green Bay. I've got a heavy lean to Carolina in the points here. I don't see any way they can stop McCaffrey on the ground or through the air. This sets up. You know what? Hit the sounder. I'm going to hit the sounder here. Haven't done it in a while. That opens it up for you. that opens it up for you to show bet me if you would like. I'm gonna hit the sound. Carolina wins this game straight up.
Well, I can't bet you because I agree in concept with your handicap. However, I'll just play a little devil's advocate here, and the numbers are split just for the people to know. Like, and so the algorithms are split, which makes it by definition a coin flip game. So it could go either way. There's a couple of different trends here that are definitely leaning in your favor. So number one, against Green Bay, a home team coming off a double-digit road loss as a favorite by more than 3, which Green Bay, right? They just went to San Diego / LA, lost. We had that game. I think they were 4.5 there, right? Favorites,
something like that.
They're 47% all time the next week. So
ATS or straight up?
ATS.
Okay.
So in other words, you got a 53% winning lean there to Carolina. Carolina is 6-2 in their last 8 versus a winning team. What does that mean? It means they perform very well against expectations when they're clearly not the better team, which I think is the case here. The only thing that I'll push back on you on is the weather, because you've got Kyle Allen, who has the smallest hands known to man in that weather, and he is a fumble machine. If the ball's cold, if it's wet, or whatever, that's only going to expound upon the fact that he can barely grip a football. Like he has the hands of a small child, so he can barely grip the football. Like, unless they play with a Nerf football, and even then, I think Rodgers has the advantage. I think that has a chance to lean the game in Green Bay's way, and that's how they cover. But to your point, I think that's the only way that they cover is the dreaded turnover. But I can't.
Which you can't handicap.
Yeah,
like
of course.
You can't predict it.
But just like you and I have discussed many times, you can't handicap a turnover, but you can just kind of like blackjack, kind of think through. Okay, when is it coming? What's a possibility? Cold weather, a dude with literally infant hands out there trying to grip a football that he can't hold in normal weather, it does raise the chances that he's going to fumble yet again many times. And Green Bay, their defense has gotten worse, but they do have the 2 stud pass rushers. If they get to Allen, make him fumble a couple times, I can see Green Bay covering, but I think your handicap is solid. I do like Carolina, and I can't bet you on it.
Just real quick, it's not gonna. There's no rain. It's just gonna be cold. So I think it sets up nicely for Carolina.
Doesn't I don't know, right? Because I don't have the kids, and you have the kids. So do babies' hands get smaller in the cold? How does that work?
Everything shrinks in the cold. You should know that.
Well, I know. Yeah, I mean, All right. Anyway, moving on. Detroit goes to Chicago, and they're 2.5-point road dogs.
Okay, and I don't remember if we have this or not.
We do not. We do not.
Okay, so good. So that frees me up here. This is actually kind of a key game for me in a sense. When we're talking the whole season prediction thing, preseason I picked that Chicago would go from first to last in this division. So
if you ain't first, you're last.
Yeah, Longhorn needs this win for Detroit in that sense. Now for the handicap, this feels like a trap game to me, and I don't really have a great feel for it. I'm not sure. And here's the deal: I'm not sure Detroit can take advantage of the way to attack and beat this Bears defense, which is running the ball. That's the way you can beat this Bears defense with Akeem Hicks out in the middle of that defensive line. But with Kerryon Johnson, since he's been gone, Detroit, they're one-dimensional. They cannot run the ball to save their life. And even though Stafford is playing well above his career standard, this is dangerous for him. One-dimensional in Chicago, and he's going to be relied upon to sling it around. My power ranking is a slight lean to Detroit, but the situational spot and the matchup, kind of situations with the Kerryon Johnson, to me, I'm gonna take Chicago. I'm gonna lean to Chicago on this podcast. I just think it's a trap. I don't see Detroit one-dimensional being able to go up and win this game. So I've got to lean to Chicago.
All right, well, moving on. Miami goes to Indianapolis, and they are now 11-point road dogs.
Yeah, and real quick, what's the status on Brissett before I go?
He is not good.
He's not. No, not that. Is he going to play?
Oh yeah, he might play, but he's still not good. So like, I mean, are you asking does it matter, or are you asking?
Yeah, of course it matters. It absolutely matters. Whatever. I'm just gonna go. Miami.
He's questionable. It's questionable.
So we still don't know. So I lean to Miami. I mean, with that line, that tells me that he's not playing because it's gone up throughout the week.
No, it's actually gone down. So
it was 10.5. Now it's 11.5.
Well, I had it opening at 15.5, so it's went down. So I'm thinking he's not. I'm thinking Vegas is betting he's not playing.
Okay.
At this point, like they're just saying like, look, we're not going to go any lower than this.
Okay, I see. So at the beginning of the week, they thought he was going to play, set it at 15.5, bumped down to 10.5 whenever he got announced he's out. Now it's kind of ticking back up. Whatever, doesn't matter. I lean to Miami here. Indy is notorious for playing one-possession games, and I don't think they have the offensive firepower to run away from a Miami team that has not quit on their coach and is playing tough for Fitzgerald. Miami has 4 covers in a row. I always do that. Fitzpatrick, sorry. They have 4 covers in a row, and they got the win outright last week. The one concern I do have for leaning to Miami would be the fact that they did get the win last week. Hopefully they don't get that one win they've been searching for and kind of go back to, the way they were usual, mailing it in. I've got a game nugget here. Since Fitzpatrick, not Fitzgerald, since Fitzpatrick came into that game against the Redskins. You remember that game 4 games ago against the Redskins that we had where Fitzpatrick came in?
Oh, do I fucking remember?
Yeah,
I think I fucking
Of course
remember.
we remember it. Yeah, we remember because it fucked us real good. Well, since he entered that game, Miami Dolphins have outscored their opponents 69-68. So, for whatever reason, they're playing hard for Fitzpatrick this go around. I lean to Miami with those points, but I do it with caution.
Of course they're playing hard for him. I mean, he looks like me. If you're this handsome, how could you not play hard for that dude? I mean, come on.
Yeah.
And
No,
he's what is he? Was he Hartford or whatever? He's smart as shit. Yeah,
Very
of course
smart.
they're playing hard for him. Anyway,
He's very smart and very good looking. Nothing like you. Go ahead.
yeah, no, I think we're kind of similar. Anyway,
Okay.
so Indy, couple trends to support your lean here. Indy 1-5 is a favorite from 3.5 to 10, which is a little bit over that. However, 3-7 as a home favorite, 10.5 or more. So you think about that right there. How many times, and I'll just ask you, how many times with Brissett or whatever the fuck his name is, have they been home favorites of 10.5 or more? How many times?
I would say not often.
How about 0? How about
Yeah.
none? So that 3-7 number is with Andrew Luck and what's the guy's name? Oh yeah, Peyton Manning, that dude. So with 2 Hall of Fame level quarterbacks at home, favored by 10.5 or more, they cover 30% of the time. So now you're telling me that Jacoby fucking Brissett or whoever the fuck is next,
Brian
is gonna
Hoyer.
cover?
Brian Hoyer.
Oh my God. They're going to cover 11 points. Get the fuck out of here. Yeah, of course Miami's the play. Now, the numbers don't quite agree. They almost agree. They're split. But it's only because Miami has been so bad on one of our particular algorithms. It's just so hard for them to catch up. However, last week, to your point, they were the numbers agreement. I stupidly went against them, right, and show bet you, and you beat my ass.
Yeah,
because I had the
baby.
Jets and you had Miami, but that should just show you, like, when the numbers agree, when you're that bad against the numbers and they agree with you, don't ever bet against them. Don't be like me. Don't be retarded. Just go with the numbers, baby.
Don't you need to have some a way to like get the splits on those because this Miami's basically two different teams. The team that started with Rosen or whatever, and then the team the last 4 weeks. So I don't think you can completely trust those.
No, because that's not how like it incrementally. You just like so. To pull the curtain back, the way I handicap, whether you handicap, you incrementally plus or minus teams, right? Week to week.
Every week.
Exactly.
Every week.
So are the numbers. So incrementally the plus and minus, depending on the performance. So from where they started to where they are, incrementally they are much, much better. And every week matters less and less as the season goes on. So the first couple of games with Rosen were 3 games with Rosen. Yeah, of course they went down. But as soon as it started to tick up, it ticked up tremendously. And now we've gotten to a level with Fitzpatrick that it's going to incrementally continue to improve as they continue to improve. But it's not going to go overboard, right? It's only going to improve them to the fact that, like, okay, this is where they should be. Which, just like last week, they were the favorite, again, against the Jets on the numbers. And they beat the shit out of the Jets. And my stupid ass went against them, and you beat me. So, congrats to you. Stupid on my part. But this part, the numbers are split. But, again, that makes it a coin flip. And I think you're on the right side of the coin flip. I think there's no freaking way that Jacoby Brissett or whoever the heck, Brian Hoyer.
Hoyer.
Oh, my God. There's no way. 11 more. Get the fuck out of here. Go Miami.
All right, move on.
All right, Rams. Go to Pittsburgh, and they're 4-point road favorites.
Yep, this is another game I love. I love the Rams here. I lean the Rams here. Cooks is out this week, but Reynolds has always filled in nicely whenever one of these 3 main receivers have missed.
Where did he go to school?
I think he was a dirty Aggie. So I've got a minimal drop off. I've got a minimal drop off there. The Rams are coming off a bye, and like I talked about earlier, teams coming off a bye with a great coach have an uptick as far as I'm concerned. Specifically, offensive-minded coaches off a bye. They are very dangerous. Pittsburgh is second in the league in defensive pressure rate, and since the Minka trade, they are 4th in defensive pass efficiency. However, Pittsburgh is well below average versus the run, and I have faith in McVay to scheme up this offense to exploit the weaknesses of Pittsburgh. Now, on the other side of the ball, opposing quarterbacks versus the Rams defense are being pressured, hit, or sacked on 36% of dropbacks by the quarterback. So with Connor out, I see some one-dimensional play for Pittsburgh, and that will lead to turnovers. One quick game nugget, then I'll throw it to you with whatever you got. Road favorites coming off of a bye are 75 and 38 ATS. I lean LA.
So, wasn't Connor out last week?
He's been out for a while.
And didn't we have Pittsburgh last week? All right.
We did have, but every game's different. What's your point?
So I'm just saying, you put that as a factor. I'm not sure that's really a factor. So
they can't run. They didn't run last week. Yeah, Connor's out. They can't run.
Yeah, that's fine. But they still, Rudolph kind of, came to his own a little bit. So
no, he didn't. No, he did not. I watched that game. He threw the ball like 20 times to the running back. If it wasn't for Vinatieri, which again, somebody telling him that he is actually retired, we would have lost that. We would have lost that game. Okay. We got a little fortunate.
Fair enough. So, a couple of different trends on this. One for you, one against you. I really don't have a lean on this game either way. The numbers are split, so again, it's a coin flip. The Rams are 6-0 against the spread in their last 6 road games, which makes sense because that bougie-ass crowd in LA doesn't give a fuck about this team or anything other than the Lakers or the bougie. Dodgers. That's just how it goes.
Good word.
Yeah. So they didn't have football there for 20 years. They didn't give a fuck, and now they have 2 teams that they could give a fuck less about.
Mm-mm.
So, and one of them was in the goddamn Super Bowl last year, and they could still give a fuck less about them.
They didn't know.
They had no clue. But anyway.
No.
So 6-0 the last 6 road games, which makes sense. But then Pittsburgh, 13-4-2 in their last 19 as a home dog. You don't really just walk into Three Rivers Stadium or whatever it's called now and walk away with a victory as a road favorite against the spread at least. So again, I don't really have a lean either way on this game. I really want to watch it just for going forward, kind of what it means to the rest of our season, right? As handicappers, as both these teams are going to be in the mix as far as like playoffs and all that kind of stuff. So really looking forward to it. Numbers are split. Can't really argue with your lean, but trend on both sides.
Real quick counter to what the last part you just said. Normally, I would 100% agree with you because Pittsburgh has historically been good. They're always fucking good. So, of course, you never want to bet against Pittsburgh as a home dog. However, with the injury to Roethlisberger, it's kind of become normal for them to be kind of a home dog. So, in past years, if you get the one scenario where they're a home dog, bam, you nail Pittsburgh. You jump on Pittsburgh because that's rare territory, and you're going to get their best shot. In this scenario, this season, this isn't the first time they've been a home dog this year. This won't be the last time they're a home dog this year. So this year's a little different as far as that goes.
Yeah. Okay, but let me stop you there. So, how many times in Ben Roethlisberger's career have they been a home dog?
Not very often.
Okay, so you just put out that Ben Roethlisberger was the factor, and yet he's not a factor. Because when he's in there, they're not ever a home dog. Like, I mean, if you had to handicap the percentage of times they've been a home dog when Ben Roethlisberger was the starting quarterback,
it's about one time a year.
Okay, so 1 out of 16.
So that's my point is that it's going to be 3 or 4 times this year. So
but
it's
my
not
point,
that.
But I get your point. But my point is historically, 19 games. So he hasn't played. How many seasons has he played?
Who?
Ben Roethlisberger.
I don't know, like
12?
a million? Like, yeah, a lot. He's old and fat.
So, I mean, in the last 19, which goes beyond his career, so because I think even once a season is a little bit too much, unless the Patriots come calling. Like, really, when are they ever a home dog when Big Ben is there?
No,
so
it is. It's one a year. I've looked at it.
Okay, so then that's 7 games beyond basically his career, and still 13-4-2. So your one big factor is not even really that big a factor that you just threw out there. That's all I'm saying. Like, you can't just say, "Oh, well, Big Ben's not here, so of course it's not." Like, no, that's not. That's baked into the line. Like, you can't just say that.
Well, then you want to show bet me?
No, because the numbers are a coin flip on here, and I think I think your handicap is good, and I like your handicap especially.
You went against the numbers last week. Why can't you do it again?
Well, the numbers disagree, so they're not agreeing with me either way. It's a coin flip. I don't like betting on coin flips. Like, that's really not my thing. So all I'm saying is your big factor is not a factor. Like, that's not like, it's just a false factor. You just put out false information, basically. Is what you just did.
Okay. So if my information is false because Roethlisberger has been there forever, then how is it not a factor that he's not there now? That has to be a factor when they're going to have 3 or 4 times as many home dog games this year.
So how many times this year have they been home dogs? How many times?
This is the 3rd time already this year.
Okay, and they're still 13-4-2. So how have they done this year as home dogs?
But that's past. Those are past.
But they're this year with Mason Rudolph, right? So how have they done?
I think they're 1-1. I have to go back. I don't have that written down, but
so basically, again, you're back to a coin flip. So you're telling people to bet on a 50% chance. So that's what you're saying.
No, I think that because this won't be the last time they're a home dog. This is becoming standard operating procedure for them to be home dogs. So I don't think it's as big of a motivation factor for them to look at, oh, we're home dogs, we're Pittsburgh. How the hell are we home dogs? I think that it's just setting in that they're not very good. That's my handicap.
I got that. I got it. But at the same time, if they've been home dogs, this is the 3rd time they're 1-1, and yet you're telling people to bet on the Rams. You're basically betting against a super trend, and you're betting on a 50-50 proposition this year, and you're betting on a numbers game, which is split, which is a 50-50 historically proposition. So all I'm saying is, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying, basically, you're telling people to bet on a 50-50 game for the Rams, and you got to lay 4 points to do it, which is a dead number. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. I lean Rams.
All right, moving on. Minnesota goes to them Dallas Cowboys on Sunday Night Football, and those Cows are 3-point home favorites.
Yeah, now we're at a game where I can't. There's so much conflicting data in this one. I can't pick a side. Thielen is out, and we've got the Minnesota back indoors and on a fast turf. I'm going to keep this short, and I'll let you take it away with whatever you got. You got the Cousins primetime factor in play, which we've talked about. People that listen to the show, you know how we feel about primetime Cousins versus noontime Cousins. But you also have the Zimmer factor, and he is 23-8. Zimmer is 23-8 as a coach for Minnesota ATS, coming off of a loss. My last game nugget on this, and like I said, I'll let you take it away, is a team coming off a Monday night win, that would be Dallas, is 12-25 ATS the next week if they're playing a team with a winning record. Like I said, the huge Cousins trend that we've talked about, and all the other trends pointing to Minnesota here have me completely conflicted and split. I'll let you take it away with whatever you got.
Brother, I am with you. I am split as hell on this game. Dallas has...
Tough one.
Yeah, I mean, there's terrible trends on both sides. Dallas is 4-12 in their last 16 games at home. ATS is a favorite of 3 or less. And they're 0-5 in their last 5 ATS versus a winning team. Minnesota is 1-5 as the last 6 as a dog of 3 or less. And then, of course, the Cousins factor. Prime time, 30% cover. And then you've got the other side, which one positive that I do have for Dallas. So a lot of people have made a lot of talk about, Amari Cooper, or is it Zeke, or is it Tyron Smith, or whatever. But one thing that I do have is, and keep in mind, this just going forward, when Dak and Zeke both play together, the Cowboys in those two careers, they're 58% against the spread. So that's pretty goddamn good. When you think about all the games they played together, they're pretty much a dynamic duo for Dallas. I mean, I wish I had something better to tell the people. I really don't. Like, I really expect, and I think we talked about this real early in the week. Like, I think we might have talked about it Sunday night. I really expected the numbers when I put them together this week to favor Dallas. I really did with that 3-point look ahead line because Dallas is so high in my power rankings, like so high. Like I really expected, and they just didn't. They split. So again, you're looking at a coin flip game, and unlike some of the other games we talked about, and we busted each other's balls back and forth, I really think this is the true definition of a coin flip game. And honestly, dude, like I think the cover and the winner overall in this game is going to be the team that, and I know this is stupid to say because it's obvious, but it's going to be the team that makes the least amount of mistakes. And how you handicap that, man, I wish I knew. Like if we had that magic formula, man, we'd be
I thought you
doing
were
all
going
right.
to say the key. I thought you were going to say the key to this game is going to be the team who can score more points than the other team. Like whichever team can.
That's always a great key. That's always a great key. But you know what? As dumb as that key is, that doesn't lead you to against the spread winners, baby. It doesn't. As dumb as that sounds to say, like, the team that scores the most wins. Ha ha ha. Well, you know what? That doesn't fucking win in our world. So you got to be even smarter than stupid in our world to win.
That's our life right there. A gun to head, I'd lead Minnesota.
I mean, my God, there's gun to head. There's no fucking way I could ever back Cousins in a primetime game. I've seen it. I've watched this kid, like literally, I've had a vested interest in this kid since Michigan State. I've seen him fuck up.
You said coin flip game. I take the points. Like if I can't make up my mind on the game, it's a coin flip game, and I'm forced to take a game. I'll just take the points.
So a coin flip game to me, I'll take the better team at home because I think the Cowboys overall are a better football team.
There you go.
All right, moving on to the Monday Night Football. No, Seattle. Fucking talk about coin flip Seahawks are now 6.5-point road dogs in San Francisco.
Yeah, I think this might go against conventional thinking here, but I do lean like I'm a points whore. Like we people that follow us, they know that we take Well, I said points whore, and people that follow us know that we take points more often than we don't. But I lean San Francisco here, and my handicap is two-sided, and it'll be real quick. One is the returning injured players. Yeah, you're clearly done with this podcast. Returning injured players for San Francisco. Both tackles will probably play, and the best fullback in the league is coming back. Secondly, Seattle. I know what is their record now? They like 6-2, whatever they are.
Yeah,
They're just not as good as their record indicates. They really aren't. You're the numbers guy. I'm sure your numbers can support what I'm saying. At some point, Wilson is not going to be able to save the day and carry this slightly above average roster at the end of a game. I know it goes against conventional thinking to lay 6.5 points against a quarterback like Russell Wilson, but in this game, I want no interest in the super contest in this game, but I do lean San Francisco.
So, most of the time, I love you. Sometimes I hate you, but I fucking love you on this pick right here. San Francisco.
Okay.
So, to your point right there, you said maybe slightly above average Seattle team. By the numbers, they are exactly an average football team. And the fact that Russell Wilson, which I know in Vegas he's leading the MVP vote. Like if you had to lay, right now you have to lay the most money to bet Russell Wilson MVP. And that is absolutely right because he is carrying this very average, mediocre team to a winning record. He's the only thing keeping them in this division race with San Francisco. But San Francisco is, by the numbers, the number 2 team and is getting ever closer every week to New England and catching them. San Francisco
they're number
has
1
no
in mine.
holes. Yeah, they're number 1 in yours, number 2 in mine. They're getting ever closer to New England every single week. I mean, there's no question about who the better team is. 6 points is what we got them locked in at. They're 6.5 now. So get them before they lay the touchdown for sure because Russell Wilson always tries to come back with some kind of magic. But San Francisco going to win probably going away. San Francisco 13-3 in the last 16 on Monday night. 4-1 in the last 5 after an ATS loss, which Longhorn, didn't we have Arizona versus them last Thursday? Remember that?
I believe the circuit midget was out there doing that circus midget shuffle.
He sure was, and the numbers sure did tell us to do it, and we did it, and goddamn it, we won. So, again, go get San Francisco, get it before he gets the touchdown. 100% agree with you on that. And with that, boys and girls, that was all the wins coming in the air tonight, baby! Boys and girls, it's time you've all been waiting for. It's time for that free NFL pick of the week, baby.
All right, your NFL free pick on the podcast is going to be Cincinnati plus those 10.5 maybe. I'm not sure where it's sitting at right now. You can go back and listen to it. No need to break it down anymore. Our NFL free pick of the week on the podcast is Cincinnati plus the points.
Man, so good he got choked up about it. Can you hear that shit? Let's go, baby. Longhorn, tell them about that fabulous website one more time.
All right, you Glory Hole Seekers, that's going to wrap up another award-winning episode of the Football Glory Hole Podcast. We thank each and every one of you for tuning in. Y'all come back to the Sports Patio next week, and don't forget to subscribe and give us a 5-star rating so we can pay those bills. Hit us up on any of our social medias, and don't forget to subscribe to both of our YouTube channels, the Football Glory Hole and the Degenerate with RJ Choppy. And remember, if you're new to this and a little hesitant on placing a bet, we have weekly and monthly packages as well. Quick reminder that I'll be doing quick hits every Saturday morning on YouTube with additional free picks from our premium picks list. Now, if you are only taking our free picks from this podcast, which, by the way, I do have it pulled up right now, our free picks run is 21-15 for the season, and I do not do math, and I do not know the percentage on that, but I feel like it is pretty damn good. But if you are only taking our free picks from the podcast and the quick hits on YouTube, you're so stupid. Stop doing sports all wrong and sign up for our premium picks at our website so that we may become partners for life and Bostifa's, as always, in a mostly non-sexual way. People, stop throwing away your hard-earned money on the guessing game. Let the pros do the heavy lifting. So sign up, tell a friend, and join in on the fun of watching football, drinking beer, and never pay a bookie again. Come on!
God damn it, people never pay a bookie again. Steven Tyler, take us out, baby!